So this is a quick video talking about the Compressor app on your iPad and how to use it. So in our district we've given out iPads to some administrators and specifically to what we call coaches, instructional coaches, who go around to the new teachers in the district and film sections of their lesson on a daily basis and try to help them improve. And the question comes up pretty quickly about, okay, well, with a 16 gigabit iPad, how much video can I really do? And the answer is not a whole lot. And so your gut reaction is to say, well, I need a 32 gig or a 64 gig. But really, even if you could double the amount or triple the amount, or you're going to get 5, 10 videos. This is really not the solution. The solution is to more effectively manage and share the video. So we're going to hope to show you how to do that in this short video. In order to understand that, you need to understand a little bit about video, and the basics are that high retina display is about 2,000 by 1,500 pixels, which is a little over 3 million pixels. And people say, so what? Well, the entire text of the King James Bible is about the same, and so there's a lot of information in a single picture. And to complicate it worse, there are two things. One is that each pixel is actually, in order for that color to show up, a 6-character code. That's the code for that nice blue. So really what you're doing is 6 times the Bible, or 18 million characters for each picture. And then, of course, if you're going to do video, at 32 frames a second, it's like sending 192 copies of the Bible per second, which leads to a lot of this and a lot of frustration, and then people not understanding what's going on. So you can do some video calculators and on the web. Basically what you're shooting for is I got to get that video down. I got to get it down to something that's more like YouTube, which is 720 by 486. And a gig of that, or an hour of that, is going to be about 1.5 gigs, and so you're looking at about 800 megabits a half hour, or 27 megabits per minute at 720. So you're looking for a solution. What's better? How to do this? And what I did is I contacted some friends of mine from around the state who were polite enough to reply. This guy provided one solution, and this guy provided another. And so shout-outs to both them. This is kind of a combination of that. But basically you start with Video Compressor, which is a free app from Apple, and it's kind of the missing toolbox for some of their video tools. And so you just download it, not a big deal. When you get it on your iPad, then you open it up. There are basically 3 options. This is kind of dead stupid simple, but I'll explain a couple of them. 720 is that one we talked about, and that'll give you a 90% reduction in your space. There is another option here called VGA, and at initial glance you say, well, the screen size is smaller, so that should be even a better savings, but it's actually only 80%. The reason for that has to do with the ratios. VGA was formatted back in the days of television, which was a 4:3 ratio, and most all your displays now, flat screen TVs and iPads, are 16:9. So when you choose this, you're actually tweaking the video to make it fit, and that doesn't give you as good a compression. So stick with this one. And then when you do, it just says, where's your videos? And you get this, and I'll zoom in on that. 3 basic buttons. Do you want to play the video, so you make sure you got the right one? You got these cool little, it's kind of hard because it's small, but you can actually clip a section of the video. So let's say I filmed like an hour of the teacher, and I only wanted to talk about this 10-minute section. I can actually just clip that piece, and then it's just dead simple stupid. You push use and it will start compressing. And it's pretty good. On the VGA mode, which was only 80%, it dropped that 1-minute video by a factor of 6, which is pretty good. One thing you do need to know, when I was doing this video, the one you're watching, there's no magic to compression. If it's a 9-minute video, it's going to be 9 minutes to compress, and it takes a little while. So better calculate that in when you're planning. And so that original little over a gig wound up being about 300 megabits, or the 27 megabits per minute that we talked about. So there's the basics. And then you say, okay, so what? I got to crunch. Now what? It's still on my iPad. It's of no use. Well, now you have to share it, and this is where you have a couple of options. We're a Google district, and so Google Drive makes the most sense. You can actually download the app to your iPad and log in, which is also free. And once you do that, it's a little bit different view than what you're used to on your computer, but basically here's your folders and below it are your files, and then if you need to create a new folder, which is what I would suggest, new folder, give it a name, pick it. Once you're there, upload your photos or your videos. Again, you could do photos or videos. I'm doing video. If you're doing photos, you check mark the photos you want to upload. Here I want to do the videos, and then hit the little checkbox up in the corner, which is not quite obvious, but you get it. And then they just upload. So pretty easy. It takes a little while. Again, I think this took about 5 minutes for this 9-minute video. And they say, okay, so it's there, it's in cyberspace, but how do I actually share it? So if you're familiar with Google, it's not that tough. I'm going to show you a little bit different thing. You can actually do this right on your iPad, which is kind of cool. Click on the little, looks like an eye for information. It brings up your side window. And then you say, I want to add some people. You have to decide you want to edit, view, or whatever. In this case, I would say probably just view or comment, not edit, because if you say edit, they could delete it. Then you go in, pick the teacher you want to share it with, and you're done. Here's an interesting one. You could actually allow them to download this to their iPad and view it when they're not connected to the internet, like if they're on a plane or traveling on vacation. But you also have the master controls in your normal online browser interface, and for those of you that know, you can go under more and you can actually prevent that from happening. So don't set it one way on one and another way on the other. In fact, I would probably leave this alone, but that's a useful thing to know. You can also use the standard share, where you either send them again from your web browser where you invite people, or you can just copy the link and paste it into an email and send it to somebody. The only downside to that is you'll notice the default says only people listed below can see it. So you'll need to change that, and you can decide anyone with the link or whatever. In this case, with our coaches, I think it's probably best to say just Alpine District employees, which will require them to log in with their district login. That way they're not being spread all over the internet, and some of those new teachers can feel safer about what we're doing. Word of caution, again. There's a bug in the app on the iPad that allows you to actually duplicate, and you can, as you can see here by accident as I was making this tutorial, upload the same photo twice. I don't know why Google doesn't normally allow that I'm aware of, but anyway, that's a bit of an issue. You just delete the extra one, but watch what you're doing. And then Google's not the easiest place to figure out how much space you're using. Once it's there, how much space is going on. But you can use the sort and sort by quota used, and then you can see that it's 27 megabits or whatever. Or alternatively, some of you that aren't Google districts could use Dropbox. And same thing, go get the app for free, log in. The free account versus the business or the pro, depending on what you've got. This is a little easier because it tells you not only how much you're used for the whole account right off, but as you upload those videos, you can see here's the original. And then on this one, where I did the 720 compression, you can see that instead of 4.2 megs, with the VGA, I got 90% compression, so it's 1.3. And you can see that right off. So that's kind of nice. When you go to share the link, again, it's a little, you can go ahead and just type in the name of somebody out of your contacts list and type in the message, or you can get the link. You have to verify you have an email the first time that's associated with the account. Copy the link to the clipboard. There's no obvious, it doesn't say anything. You have to be smart enough to see that it has been copied to the clipboard, and then you go ahead and paste it into your own email and send it out again. However, in this case, as far as I know, anybody with a link can get to it. So, word of caution. The two solutions are not the same in the sense that one is quite a bit bigger than the other in your allowed file size. And then Dropbox, I couldn't find a way to say only limit these people. If a friend passes around that email link, I think they can get to it. So you just need to be aware of that. I ran into this as I was doing some research, and I haven't verified it. It comes up in several places, but Apparently, the iOS has a 50-minute limit. No matter how much memory you have in your iPad, it'll only let you do a 50-minute video. So, plan accordingly. There should be plenty, but just so you know, you could do multiple sections. But in this case, if you go longer than 50 minutes, it'll bust it up into 2 different videos automatically. That could be a little frustrating. And so if you're watching this, then I guess it proved successful. And there you go. Okay, so this is like that extra clip at the end of a video, but as I was doing this, I got screwing around and saying, okay, well, what happens if I compress a compressed video? And the answer is, when I tried 720 to 720, it said, no, sorry, Charlie, that doesn't work. But when I tried to take a 720 and run it to VGA, I got a surprising result. Dropped that 300 megabit video just to 24.7, and that's actually the video that I displayed on the web.